Hey everybody, it's Metagross Freak, and welcome back. Now, I've done a couple top 10 lists, and in, various Pokemon videos, I've talked about, some of my favorites, and some of the best in my opinion. But today I'm going with the top 10 worst. Now, I'm a big fan of Team Fortress 2, as you can see on January 17th, I've logged 532 hours, and I got it back in May. Yeah. So I've had the game for about 8 months, and I've logged over 530 hours. So you could say that might be kind of an addiction, but without further ado, the top 10 worst hats in TF2. Now, this doesn't include miscellaneous items. This is just hats. First up, the Crafty Hair. Actually, for the record, these 10 are not in order. These are just the 10 in general that I just think look stupid. Crafty Hair. I realize this is supposed to be a reference to XCOM, but having like this weird like string cheese hair for 5 different classes, I don't know anybody who none of my friends on Steam, and I have a lot of friends. I have, as you can see, a lot of friends. None of my friends on Steam own the Crafty Hair, and the like one person I know who owns one painted it like green or something. I just think it looks really dumb. Sorry. Next, the Stalin Helm. I realize it looks kind of cool on Soldier, but I don't get why it's a soldier hat. A Stalin Helm is a German helmet, and in fact, Medic has the Surgeon Stalin Helm, which is actually the hat I have on my Medic. So why they have a Stalin Helm for a soldier makes no sense at all. It's not that I think it's dumb. I just think they didn't. Give it give a good hat to Soldier. This could have been a different style for the Surgeon Stalin Helm for Medic if people didn't like the Field Medic style. I just think they should have given this to a different character other than Soldier. Next, the Battle Bob. Okay, first thing I thought of when I saw this was it looks like Soldier cut a watermelon open and stuck it on his head. I don't know why one would want to look like one of the Beatles. Let me show you. Is it drabby olive? Look at that. It looks like he's wearing a watermelon on his head. I mean, unless you're gonna paint it the green to look like you have a watermelon. This one actually looks a lot better. This darker green. What is this? The Zephadiah's Greed. Unless you're gonna paint it green, it just looks really stupid to have basically Beatles hair. Okay. Next is the Glengarry Bonnet. Now, it's a nice looking hat in the shop, but are you really willing to pay, what is it, $4.99 for a hat that can't be seen unless you're like within melee range? When you're across the field, you should have a hat that when people see your character, they should be able to, from afar, tell what you have. This, based on the coloring, looks a lot like Demoman's original hat. The only real difference is that he has a little red ball on top, which, isn't really all that great. It looks cool when you're, close up, like here, as you can see, but from afar, it just looks like his normal hat. So it can be kind of disappointing. Next, the Pilotka. I realize it's a military hat, and I realize it has the symbol for the Soviet Union, the hammer and the sickle on it, but, the Pilotka is a military hat, and I really think it'd look so much better on the Soldier. Similar to how the Soldier had that Stalin Helm, which should really go on the Medic, you have this hat for the Heavy, which really should just go on Soldier. At least it's paintable, but the funny thing is when you paint it, it only changes the color of the star. So, so I hope you're okay with having this, this baby barf green hat on a Heavy, because you're not going to be able to customize the color really and you're stuck with a hat that really should be left for soldier. Next up, the outdoorsman. Similar story, although when you have a shotgun, it makes sense for heavy because you have kind of a an Elmer Fudd kind of thing going on. Based on their personalities, I really should go with either the sniper or again the soldier. Soldier has more of the kind of personality of like an Elmer Fudd, and sniper, he has the huntsman, and he's sniper has the personality, that is the kind of person that would go with an outdoorsman hat, and soldier has that personality kind of like Elmer Fudd. So the fact that they have it with heavy just doesn't make sense to me. So actually, now that I think about it, most of these aren't like bad hats. They're just poorly chosen to give to. Next one up is the Hetman's headpiece. Okay, I don't know why anyone would buy this. It's an engineer hat that you get for pre-ordering Mountain Blade with fire and sword. I didn't even know that was a thing. And when you paint it, it just changes the color of the feathers. Oh yeah, apparently, let's see. It's a hat worn by the second highest military commander of Poland. Let's see. A hetman is the head of state in Ukraine. So I did not realize that engineer was Polish and Ukrainian. To my knowledge, he was from flippin' Texas. Also, this hat kind of looks like a Ushanka, which they have for heavy and medic. And so why they're giving a Ushanka style hat with a silly feather plumage to engineer, I don't get either. This hat, in my opinion, it looks really stupid. I wouldn't even want to trade this hat to someone just because I know that they would look ridiculous in it. Even if you painted it, it just looks silly. I'm sorry. Okay, next is the Lone Star. Now this is, I think that was Awesome Knots. Yeah, it was a promotional item for pre-ordering Awesome Knots, but again, this isn't one of those things that doesn't make sense. Now the Lone Star is supposed to look like who's it supposed to look like? It's supposed to look like a character from Awesome Knots. I don't remember which one. It's supposed to look like a character from Awesome Knots. But, it's supposed to represent the character Lone Star. That's why it's called the Lone Star. Okay. But Sniper is Australian, and Lone Star is associated with Texas. So it really should be available for Engineer, not Sniper. That and we have our who's his name? Soldier. Soldier, who is from the Midwest, from the plains, and he also has some hats kind of like this. So really, it makes no sense, in my opinion, for Sniper to have this hat. It really would make more sense for either the Engineer or the Soldier to have this. This is just another great example of them not thinking, who actually is going to wear this hat. Next up, okay, I know this is a popular item, but the Towering Pillar of Hats. Okay. I just don't like this item because, even when you're crouching, the hats make you stick out like a sore thumb. And at $7.50, which I would never pay that much for a hat like that. I mean, there is like the Noble Amassment of Hat and the Modest Pile of Hat, which the Modest Pile is just a little bowler. That looks good. That looks good. I like the design. Noble Amassment of Hat, it's the bowler, and then with the top hat on top. Okay, that's like, oh, it's funny. They put a hat on the hat. That's silly. And it doesn't look bad. Even Spy here. That just doesn't look bad. I actually think this looks pretty good. The Towering Pile of Hats has a little boater on top of the stovepipe, and I just think it looks really dumb. I mean, having the hat on the hat, that was funny. Having a hat on the hat on the hat, that just, I don't know. I just think it looks really dumb, and you can't even paint it. So, you can't even paint it. I mean, the only character I think it would really look good on is Pyro, and that's purely because like all of Pyro's hats are supposed to be comical. You know, if you go to Pyro, if you go to the Pyro page and you look at all of Pyro's hats, you know, I'm scrolling quickly here. You know, you see he's got, you know, a beanie and a rubber glove and a little squid and, you know, various fire helmets. He has a, you know, a plunger and, you know, a sombrero and a little flower hat and a mask and a reindeer helmet and a traffic cone and a cooking helmet. Sorry, cooking hat and a flamenco hat and a little sailor hat and a little bubble hat. He has comical items. It makes sense to have the towering pillar of hats on Pyro, but on every other character, I just think it looks ridiculous on. Last up, this one I definitely think is the worst hat in TF2, and that's the top notch. It's not that I have anything against Minecraft. I love Minecraft, but the only one who's able to use it is Notch. I mean, it's only available to Marcus Persson, the creator of Minecraft, and it's only available to him. It's based on his avatar, but it's only available to him. No one else can have it. The item isn't tradable, giftable, paintable, or even craftable. So I don't even know why people bother putting up like this article on TF2 on the TF2 wiki. You know, the only point of this hat was just so people would believe that it actually was Notch, because apparently no one believed Notch when he said, "I'm the real Notch." You know, and just the whole, like, it's a cardboard box. It's a cardboard box, like, painted to look like a Minecraft head. I just think, again, this looks kind of dumb. I feel bad saying that, but I just think it looks dumb. Now, there are a lot of really good hats. There are 268 hats. You know, there's other, some other, dumb-looking hats. You know, like the whoopee cap or the bombing run. I mean, no one actually, in my opinion, no one would actually buy that because it just doesn't, match the characters or anything. You know. And although I love Team Fortress 2, and I love the ability to customize your characters with great hats. I mean, you know, like the soldier, the Tyrant's helm. The Tyrant's helm looks pretty good. You know, the whole Viking helmet, that looks really good. You know, but I really think that the people at Valve really need to consider, you know, what they put on their characters, because, you know, some hats just don't make any sense at all. You know, I'm looking through, you know, the Steam Workshop, and, you know, I'm seeing stuff like, let me find one. Okay, like like this one, the Brotherhood, which is a hood to wear on Sniper or Scout. They could always just like alter Hottie's hoodie to be wearable for those classes, but still, I mean, it makes sense to have a hood on Scout just because he wears a hoodie. But why would you put a hood on Sniper? That doesn't make any sense. Or let's find another one here. Okay, like a gas mask. Why would you put a gas mask on Scout? That doesn't make any sense. You know, some of these just don't, they don't make any sense, and it kind of ticks me off when I see it. Okay, like, or like this weird one. The weird scarf headgear you have on for Engineer, called not a scarf. You already have something similar for Heavy, and I don't know anyone who has it on their Heavy either. I think people need to consider two things when they offer up hat ideas. You know, one, you know, are people actually going to buy it? And, you know, does it make sense? You know, like okay, like one of my favorite hats, the horseless headless horseman's head, the pumpkin hat, looks good, but, you know, the fact that you can only wear it on Halloween, like around Halloween or the full moon time, makes it kind of disappointing. And the fact that, you know, the fact that really Demo Man is the only one who looks good with it, All the other classes look okay, but when you have the thin classes like Scout and Spy and Medic, they look really silly. The only classes that really look good with it on are probably Demoman and Pyro, ironically, both of which have axes. You know, I just think that Valve and the people who make suggestions for hats need to think about what they're coming up with when they do this, because people, when people waste their money on something that they're not gonna like, that is when people start not liking a game. They have drops for these things. They just, I don't know. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear what you have to say. If you think there's another hat that should be on this list, or if there's a hat that you think shouldn't be on this list, send me a message. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Remember, all of this is my opinion, so it's okay if you don't agree with me. And until next time, I'm Metagross Freak, and thanks for watching.